Rebecca with Glamping Business Connections, and we welcome Allison from EP Climbing. Is that right?
That's right. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us. We are going to be interviewing several people throughout the months ahead, and just want to let everybody know that Allison is our first one with EP Climbing. So very glad. All right. So the number one thing is, what is EP Climbing? What does EP stand for?
So EP actually stands for Entrepris. We are a 40-year-old company. This is actually our anniversary that started in France in 1985 and adventured to Bend in 1988, where we still have our offices in Bend, Oregon. And basically, EP is one of the pioneers of indoor climbing. We started out people who are climbing outside in different areas, wanted places to train or just climb in the off season, and thus came the evolution of the indoor climbing gym. And to this point, EP has built over 10,000 gyms worldwide, but there are over 700 gyms in the United States, and they keep counting. And that's just gyms. That doesn't include what's in like colleges or at parks or rec centers. So it's out there.
I pulled up your page with all like the geographical map. I was shocked.
Yeah.
And we have 4 just within my demographic location.
And where are you based out of?
I'm out of Mogadore, Ohio. So we've got Akron General Hospital. We've got the Cleveland Clinic.
Yep.
And we have a couple gyms in Youngstown University, Akron University. I mean, there's just, I really did not realize you were that big.
Yes, we are. In fact, there's Shaker Rocks, and Shaker Rocks is looking at building another gym also in Ohio. So it's big.
You're everywhere.
Also, they're everywhere. And well, there's 2 things. One is like my kids' generation, or actually a generation before them, like they were the kids who would go to the gyms for the birthday parties. So a lot of those kids are in their 20s and 30s now. So it's kind of like come full circle in certain levels generationally. And then climbing has been in the Tokyo and the Paris Olympics, and they will be in LA 2028. And it's super exciting because we are actually going to be the wall builder, and we're LA's partner for the walls. So I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah.
How exciting. That's wonderful.
I know. Yeah.
I didn't realize you were around that long either. I graduated high school in 1981. So you've been around for 85. That's a long time.
Yeah, totally.
Well, now you are breaking into the glamping industry or resorts. What's that about?
So there's a few things. One, that we recognize that, in the glamping universe, that you guys focus on engagement and experience, and that, a lot of the places that I've been to offer like self-directed activities. And we wanted to bring something to the table that, 1 is multi-generational. 2 is that there's no barrier to entry. You just can go use these boulders with your shoes on your feet. You really don't need instruction. You can just kind of try it. And for, the resorts, it's like, the benefit to you guys is an activity that's really low maintenance. There's really no programming necessary, and it's minimal staff time. So it's kind of a win-win. And we also noticed, because we've had a lot more interest in building boulders for parks and rec, that since, our post-COVID world, people want to be outside more. And this is a really good recreational opportunity to do that. And some people just want to try climbing without really trying climbing, it's an easy barrier to entry,
Exactly. I'm laughing because I'm going to be 62 next week. And we went to take the kids to Niagara Falls. And there was one of those, I don't know if it was a mobile one. It was like a self-standing tower.
Yeah.
And I climbed it. I got all the way to the top. I was able to ring the bell. And do you think I could do that again today? No way. But it was a very fun experience.
Yeah.
It really was. So I could see that. And like you said, it's multi-generational.
Yeah.
The kids can do it, and also then the adults can do that. I don't have to ask you how your inception of the glamping business, because you're just growing like crazy. I mean, you're just everywhere.
Well, so is glamping. So it's kind of nice to be, have the opportunity to grow with the industry, and
Yes.
hopefully enhance it. Like I went to this, drove by this resort on the way to Yosemite called Firefall, and they just purchased a boulder, and like it was awesome. Like you could
Mhm.
sit at the pool and watch your kids go on the boulder, or you can go with them, and then you can, like, I just thought it was really cool setup, and that you don't have to leave the property to go like do something,
Oh,
'cause
perfect.
yeah.
Yes. That is nice. And sometimes those outside destination activities, experiences are quite expensive. I mean that,
Yes.
and I could see this being part of the resort itself. Whether someone puts a cost on it, that's fine. But like you said, you don't have that extra cost of having to go off property.
Right. Well, that, and then you also don't have to like make the effort and arrange it. And like I've noticed a lot of things now, like, God bless the internet, but if you don't reserve online like 3 weeks before, you might not get, like, my husband and I went to Italy a couple of years ago, and like I was shocked you couldn't get into the Vatican. Like you needed 2 days. I was like, okay,
Oh, yes, yes,
and then we weren't even there high season. I was like, all right. But to me, this is easy because it's, self-motivated. You can do it after dinner. You can do it in the morning. You can do it all the time. And
yes.
it's a good social connection too.
That is. I like the idea of, like you said, the adults could be swimming, and right there, your kids are doing the rock climbing. You could
Yeah.
be. You don't all have to be at the same place
No,
at the same
no.
time. So, how does your company incorporate? I'm sorry, sustainability. Do you have?
So climbing is the climbing industry, even though it's an older industry, it's a little tricky. Since we're a part of a European community company, excuse me, we're compliant, and we have a CSR plan that aligns with EU standards, which I think, at least in this field, are actually higher than what's offered in the United States. So we have this, it's called an ISO 14001 certification, which it's an international standard for environmental requirements. And, we subscribe to that, and we're always trying to, you know, move the dial and push and do other things. And we have a life cycle analysis that we've been working on to look at our impact and how we can make improvements. And right now we've been partnering with companies on producing recycled handholds, like the material for it. So that's kind of a new innovation. So there's a lot of different things we're working on, but I feel like it's still kind of, a younger attribute of the industry, because like net, we are kind of construction.
Exactly, and it has to be more of a safety. I'm not sure how safe
Exactly.
sometimes some of the recycled
Yeah.
things are as far
Yeah.
as doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. You're like, oh,
So,
that's nice. It's
yeah,
recycled, but it's got a hole in it already. Okay. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
You have to kind of look at both ends of it.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the biggest challenges that you have faced in the glamping industry, or have you even faced any? And if you have, how have you overcome them?
Well, first of all, like I love the glamping industry. Like I totally see the value and relevance of it.
Mhm.
And it's, in my opinion, it's still a young and emerging industry. So
Absolutely.
for us, it's still lack of awareness about us and our products, and understanding of boulders and like the value they could bring to your industry, like also kind of that ease, how you can incorporate climbing into your activities, and it's not challenging. It could be for everyone, and again, that it's multi-generational. So it's more of like, how do we get in front of you, and let you know we're here, and like what our value is.
Well, actually, we would like to put you on as a banner ad. You are actually one of our first members as well,
Oh,
and I think you learned of us when we were at the glamping show.
we did. My sales director went and she like fell in love with you guys. And yeah, I mean, I know that we've done a lot of camping as a family, and
Mhm.
it would be fun to like it would have been fun to have something like this at the campground. So
Oh,
yeah.
agree. We do a lot of, I say camping, it's glamping. You know, when you have a fifth wheel with a fireplace in it, I don't think it's your standard camping anymore, but it's camping.
Yeah.
And I love it. I mean, we usually go to the state parks, but they don't really have that kind of activity. So I'll have to introduce that to them. That would
Yeah.
be something really beneficial.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, does your company engage with any kind of local community or support any local businesses?
Well, I mean, we do a couple things. We do sponsor local events and like some climbing events with, different things. But like we also work with some partners. Like we worked with a Tucker County in West Virginia.
Okay.
There was it's called the Tucker Community Foundation. And their goal was to create opportunities for the community they served. And they had this like basically from this highway construction project they were able to create a park, and they were moving all these big rocks and boulders, and they were inspired from them, so they contacted us and came to us and said, hey, we want to bring some boulders into our park. And so basically they wound up getting some grant money. We helped them and showed them some different places to get grants, and they were able to make this park and revitalize an underused baseball field, and then include plans for like another toddler park and other like trails and recreational activities. So it kind of was the impetus that it became like it became a thing, for
Mhm.
the whole community. So that was good. And then they also created this like donation area, because they wound up um, raising money for their local EMT. So like you can climb on the boulders and walk through the park. Like here in Bend, we have a thing where you could go ski at this area called Virginia Meissner, and there's a bar, a QR code where you can donate. So they've actually
Okay.
raised money to help the EMS. So it seems like it's kind of a win-win for them. And then we also just did a project last year with the Washoe Tribal Health Center in Gardnerville,
Mhm.
California, excuse me, Nevada. They're at the base of the Sierra Mountain Range, and they had a grant um, like for sorry, they had a grant that focused on projects to prevent diabetes and encourage exercise. And
Oh, great.
so, yeah, they collaborated as a community, and the kids really wanted to focus on the outdoors. And because they're in the base of the Sierra Mountain Range, amongst all these boulders, they wanted one that they could like go and practice on and learn some
Yeah.
skills. So they brought a boulder to the community center. So we get involved in projects like that, and
Mhm.
those are to me the most interesting, and
Mhm.
they're really fun because to see the community afterwards, you really know,
Bonding.
yeah,
Mhm.
and the success behind it and the value.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you're mentioning Boulder. So most of the ones that I've ever seen have either been like I have one at my gym that's up against flat on a wall. Is that
Right.
a boulder behind you? It's like it's almost like a whole boulder.
So this over here, wait,
Yes.
hold on. That's a climbing wall.
Oh,
This
okay. I
over
guess I could.
here, that I don't know if you could see. There's one, two, three, four, five. There's a group of five different boulders there, and
Okay.
basically, bouldering is when you can climb up to the top enough where that you feel comfortable enough that you can either jump or climb down. Whereas these are rope walls. These are like 40-foot walls, so you're on rope climbing. And I could send you some photos if you like.
That would be
Um,
great. We can
yeah,
incorporate those then in
yeah,
with
and the other
it.
funny thing is like a lot of the boulders have like you can't see it, but I'll send it to you. Have a
Okay.
flat top, and we had one park in the Tetons, they have one of our boulders, and they had a band on top of it, and they had a big party. So yeah, it could
Oh,
actually be
wow.
really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Great. So what's the most rewarding part of your company personally? Well, I mean, how long have you been with them, and what's the most rewarding part of this?
Well, I've been with them for about 3 years, and I've kind of went in and out of the climbing industry
Mhm.
for, my work career.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Do
I've
you
kind of
climb yourself?
I do. So
Okay.
I've seen the growth and the trajectory of the industry, from when there are only 3 gyms in the United States to over 700 now. And I think it's created a really interesting community. Like a lot of people who, are not into team sports, they find their place there.
Mhm.
It's For me, it's a very therapeutic place because it's climbing to me is like a puzzle, and I'm always trying.
Yes.
I love puzzles. I do Wordle and Quirtle and all these ones, but this is like a physical and mental puzzle, and I
Sure.
think people really like that. Um, and the challenge behind it. So I think, seeing like the community that's created out of it, the friendships, I've made a lot of my friends through climbing.
Mhm.
And it's a really good, healthy activity. So that's kind of where we land. And like our mission is bringing climbing to everyone. And I think we've been pretty successful at it.
Oh, absolutely. If you see that map, you have been very successful.
Yeah.
The
Thank you.
geographical map, you've been extremely
Thank you.
successful. Now, do you have any of your either boulders or walls in a glamping establishment at this time, or have you just really, this is so new to you as well as the industry?
Well, right now, like, since it's like, honestly, like COVID changed a lot. I mean, we all know COVID changed a lot of
Mhm.
things. So since COVID, we've had a lot of interest from Parks and Rec departments. So,
Okay.
um, and it's funny too, because if we build the boulders here in Bend, and like, because of the weather and stuff, we've been holding a lot of them to send out, and we have like 15 of them all around the office. It's hilarious. And they're huge.
I'm sure
So
they are.
yeah, it's funny. You're like, oh my God. So I think that like the way that we're seeing it now is that the most interest we've seen is in Parks and Rec. And then like Firefly Resort, and we have another resort, which I cannot remember the name of right now, that's also purchasing a boulder too. So I feel like it's starting, but we still have,
Still
a
very
ways.
young.
It's young, and we still need to educate the glamping world on its value.
Yes, absolutely. We, like you said, the glamping industry itself is new.
Yeah.
So I think as time goes, and honestly, they really did not talk about experiences. And I think experiences now and adventures are really starting to be important because of the types or the demographic age groups of people going, to the
Yeah.
glamping industry.
Yeah. And I have to, for me, like, I mean, I love going away and traveling, but it's also nice to your point, where you don't have to, organize or arrange. It's like, I know some of these glamping locations, like a lot of it, you can just do it from there. Like you can go on a hike from there, or you can, whatever activities, rather than, okay, we're staying here. Now we have to get in the car and drive there.
Yes.
And I think there's a lot of value in that. And then you can come back and sit down and have, a cup of tea or a beer or whatever you want. And
Mhm.
you can kind of enjoy the space and the ambiance that they're providing. Cause at least to me, that's part of the experience too.
Mhm. Yes, yes, it is. So I hope that you take advantage of all the benefits. You have the executive level, and there are so many ways that you can promote your business on the site. And please feel free to reach out
Yes,
to me
I
if you,
will.
yeah, if there's something we can do for you, and would love to see how you grow
Yeah, and listen, if you have opportunities, please throw them my way. Even if we can't do it this year, like I always keep things on my brain for next year or whenever.
We sure will.
Perfect.
Thank you, Allison, so much
Thanks,
for joining
Rebecca.
us.
Nice to meet you. And if you ever come out to Bend or I come out to Ohio, I'm going to take you climbing.
Please do. I gotta get the strength up. Boy,
it's okay. I don't want you to, outdo me, so it'll be fun.
I don't think that's gonna happen. And I gotta make sure I got the one that has the bungee attachment.
Beginner's luck, baby. Beginner's luck. Come on.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, this is really now that you mentioned that, when we were in Colorado, we went up to what's the name of the town? It's a big college town. And
Boulder?
Then we went up to Aurora, is that it?
Well, I was gonna say Boulder.
Boulder. I think it was Boulder, because we went up to the mountains and we would see so many people that were free climbing, just up like practicing.
Yeah.
Practicing. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. I mean, Boulder's a mecca, Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
It really was very interesting. So I could see where your structures are so beneficial in learning or teaching. I mean, especially young children. I mean, that's something very scary.
Yeah. I mean, it's like taking the indoors out. They're two very different beasts. So, and I think the boulders are a great place to learn your skills and stuff like that. But if you're going to go outside, you should take classes or definitely climb with people who have a lot of experience and are safe. So.
Oh yeah, this is not an activity that you want to just be out there trying on your own.
No. A lot of people do, and it's probably not very wise.
It's not. Yeah, I'm sure it's not. Yeah. So again, thank you so much.
Thank you too.
And we look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Yeah, and it was great meeting you.
Yes, you too.